vlog today, and today I got a couple reasons why you should look into owning a 2-valve Mustang. I'm going to do the counterpart of this video of why you shouldn't own a 2-valve Mustang, but let's start off with the positives first. So right from the get-go, for me, I feel like for anybody who's trying to get into the V8 platform, and you really don't have a lot of experience with performance cars, I feel like the 2-valve is right where you want to start. I don't know much about bikes, but I remember a friend of mine telling me that, there's certain bikes that you start off with before you get into the big boy stuff. And I feel like that's the same thing with the 2-valve. The 2-valve is not extremely powerful. You're not going to wrap yourself around a tree unless you try to be Fast and Furious or your first day of ownership. But you can learn the power of a rear-wheel drive car. I started off with a 2003 V6 Mustang when I came out of high school. Went to college. I put an exhaust on it, and I tried to make it sound like a V8, but it didn't sound like a V8, which is my next point in this video. The 2-valve is one of the best sounding motors. The 4.6 motor in many Mustang forums has been rated the best sounding Mustang motor out there. So with that being said, this motor being the best sounding motor, there's so many exhaust setups that you can go with that are aftermarket, and you can get a great sound out of it. If you want to go high pitch, which is not really my thing, I wouldn't do that with the V6. If you want to go high pitch, you can do that. If you want to go, I don't know, boreless stingers and be extremely freaking loud, you can do that. It's so many options when it comes to exhaust. Just like with many other cars, but with this car, it just sounds so great. I get looks anywhere I go with this car because, even with people who may not know cars, they see this car, and they're like, dang, that car sounds good. I had plenty of compliments and exhaust setups. People have asked me my exhaust setup, and it's honestly a cheap setup. It's a Flowmasters to an X-Pipe. So it's nothing really too serious. Every rest is stock with a coder intake. Hopefully full bolt-ons pretty soon. But aside from that, you get one of the best sounding motors for a really, really cheap price. How much can you get a 2-valve for? Well, it depends. I have the air of 2-valve that is kind of like almost a frowned upon 2-valve. The SN95 body style was, I don't know, a lot of people would say Japanese looking, the round face, coming right out of the Fox body era where that body style had to grow on people. They're like, what the hell, why does the Mustang look like that? And then it grew on people because the Fox body could do so much. And then you say, okay, there goes the SN95. And so Ford caught everybody for another loop. And then you put the 2-valve 4.6, which some SN95s, which I believe it is the 94 through 95 eras, have the 5.0, which is, kind of cool. I actually wanted that spec instead of this one, but I got a good price on this one. I actually got this one for $1,800, and I wanted a manual as well, but this is automatic and I couldn't beat it. So, hence, I won't be able to record if I. But anyway, so you can get one of these cars $2,000, $3,000 this era. Now, I have seen the New Edge platform, which is a better platform with the PI heads and a little bit of things change here and there in the motors. Not a whole lot. Definitely nothing that you can't do to this motor on your own in your garage. But definitely a better platform appearance-wise. I'm not going to sit here and act like I don't like the body style of the New Edge more than the SN95. I'm not going to act like that. That would just be a lie. Because I was looking for a New Edge because I just blew up my V6 motor. But I ran into this and I was like, I hate it. I hated this body style until my friend Corey talked me into just send it. And the car had 140,000 miles on it for 1,800, and I was like, it's a project car. I really don't want to stick with a 2-valve. I want more power eventually. So the motor swaps, things of that nature, and that's the great thing about 2-valves is these motors are so accessible. You can find these motors for so cheap, and they're in everything. The police cars, they're in the freaking the new edge. They're in this. They're in the F-150s. They're in so many cars that if I blew up this motor, I can go have another 2-valve motor in this car the next day. Not saying I would do it because I'm looking for a reason to swap the motor and my girlfriend not get mad at me for spending so much money on a Coyote. But I would, if I wanted to go back 2-valve, it wouldn't be hard. I could buy a 2-valve, build it, and boost it, which is one of my options, but I honestly just want to swap it. Swapping motors into something that used to have a 2-valve, these motors may not be that big, but they have so much space under the hood. Because what you got to think about is that these same platforms had the Terminator Cobra, had the 01 Cobra, had the Cobra R, had the SN95 Cobra. You had so many different motors in this car. There was so much space left in it that Coyotes just slipped right in. A Terminator Cobra motor would slip right into this car, which is awesome because I'm not a welder. It's just not happening. I'm not welding shit. I will leave that to Corey, and when it comes to plugging shit up and torquing shit down, that's where I'll come in to help, and you just point me in a direction, but I ain't welding nothing. Swapping these motors are fairly easy. Actually, a lot of the transmissions that come in 2-valves are compatible with the Coyotes. So I feel like it's a win-win situation. Power to weight ratio is awesome, which I think Mustang period is better than the rest of the muscle cars in power to weight ratio. And I'm not shitting no Mopars because Mopars don't have to worry about this shit. They just have so much horsepower that they're gonna gap you anyway. I feel as if that 2-valves is something that you should buy because a lot of people can't afford to have 2 vehicles. We live in places that have the winter. I live in Toledo. The weather here is terrible, but I do have a second car. Now, who's to say I couldn't drive this in the winter? I think I could. It's not a crap ton of power to the point where you will be getting stuck all the time, but throw some sandbags in the back and I think you're straight. I did it with my V6. I know a guy who has a stock 2-valve who does it. He daily drives his year round. I know a guy who has a stock 3-valve who daily drives his year round. We live in Toledo. We pretty much get the same weather as Detroit. And trust me, I grew up in Detroit. I'm not saying I'm from there. That's a whole different conversation. I'll go through that later. But no, I've experienced both cities' weather, and they're not much different. The winters may be a little bit harsher in Detroit, but still, you could daily drive a 2-valve in Detroit, which you probably wouldn't because you probably have a 392, but that's just that. But yeah, I would, if I wanted to, I would daily drive this car in the winter. It would be pointless, but I would do it. Okay, last reason that I think that you should own a 1994 to 2004 2-valve Mustang is that it's a Mustang. What else other reason do you need? You will be accepted into a group of car people who are very passionate about their cars. The heritage of Mustang, and to me, is so much stronger than the rest of the muscle cars and its competitors. You have the legend of Carroll Shelby with the GT500s and the GT350s. Being a part of the Ford group and all the races at Le Mans with Ferrari and that battle. And just imagine how the movie theater is going to look when the movie Ford v Ferrari comes out. I honestly want to host a cruise and go see it. Being a part of the Mustang community is honestly a privilege. Owning a 2-valve, you are accepted. Honestly, in my opinion, owning a V6, sorta, kinda. You might go to a meet and people will kinda talk to you about your car because they see you over there lonely. But a 2-valve is still a V8, and I know I shitted on the 2-valve a little bit because it's, because of the power. But then again, like I said earlier, the power to weight ratio in 2-valves, you can beat some stuff on the street. It's not just this car that can get beat by a Chrysler 200. It is a car. It at 260 horsepower was crazy back. Well, not crazy, but it was pretty good back then. You got to think the top spec of this car. I think they rated it at like 360, which was the Terminator Cobra, which they lied about that because the Terminator Cobra made way more power than that. But all in all, you get a 2-valve, you get accepted into a community that can be very judgmental, but at the same time, you have so many events that you can go to, cruises you can be on, freaking Mustang Week, American Muscle, the American Muscle meet in Pennsylvania. There's so many things you can do with this car, and you just get to be a part of it. And not saying that people won't accept you in your V6, but having that 2-valve and pulling up to the meet with a good sounding exhaust, I don't care who you are, a good sounding 2-valve will always turn the Mustang guy's head every single time. I drive my 2-valve places and people always look. I've seen guys with 600 horsepower Coyotes, 700 horsepower freaking Terminators and GT500s turn and look at my car because the way it sounds. They may know, it's a 2-valve, it's not going to do much, but hey, that's a nice looking car and he's taking care of it. That car can really be something. And a lot of times the first question you're always going to get is, are you going to swap the motor for more power? Or are you going to boost it for more power? Because honestly, just cosmetically modding these cars is, a little bit overdone. A lot of people just stay into the cosmetics the whole time, but these cars, all in all, the best part about them is being in the Mustang community, having a V8, getting used to a rear-wheel drive V8 car, and enjoying being a proud Mustang owner. And that's gonna be it for me, man. What is your reason for owning a 2-valve? Why do you love owning a 2-valve? Or do you not have a Mustang? Are you deciding on a muscle car to get? To be honest with you, if you're already kind of used to horsepower, if I was you, you go get the top spec of this car, which is the Terminator, or you go get an 01 Cobra. But, hey, the content is immaculate. Get with it.